Hi everyone, my name is Mr. Sokowski. I teach AP World History. For this video, I'm going to be doing a quick crash course on the four major dynasties you want to know for Chinese dynasties for your AP exam. I'm going to cover the ideologies that are intertwined with these ancient empires. I'm going to talk about the trade and the geography. If you like the video, please like. If you like the video, obviously I would appreciate a like. If you find the video and the content useful, I'd appreciate a subscribe too. Okay, but again, my name is Mr. Skowski. If you have any comments, you can leave it in the description below. The four major dynasties you want to know for ancient Chinese history are going to be the Song, Yuan, Ming, and Qing dynasties. Okay, these are actually all located in the same areas here. You can see in Eastern Asia, which is also referred to in your course as Eastern Asia, even though we know it as China today. And these are the Silk Roads located below. And this is Confucius over here, who's the main philosopher going forward. So the four major dynasties you want to know again are the Song, Yuan, Ming, Qing, from 960 to 912 CE Common Era. Okay, you're not doing anything more ancient than that. The main person you want to know going forward for the philosophy of China is going to be Confucius. His whole idea is basically about social order. He comes in a time where the Chinese dynasty is always taking over. So his philosophy is basically to improve on these methods to work on the social order, and which implies from emperor to subject, or father to son, or mother to daughter, or friend to friend, or emperor to subject, or boss to worker, and so forth. Now he says that's the way to basically achieve harmony through social order. The biggest thing that he actually says with these key relationships between ruler to subject, parent to child, husband to wife, the biggest one you want to know for your AP exam is filial piety. This is basically above all these duties to succeed for having harmony in ancient China is going to be the idea of respect from children to their parents. Okay, and that's filial piety. That's the idea that you're going to have encompassed in ancient Chinese history, and Confucius is solely understood through Eastern Asia. Geography. The Chinese, basically, the ancient dynasties, the ancient empire and civilizations revolved around the Huang River, which is known for its yellow fine silt. That's the ancient part. As civilizations grew in China and went to the Yangtze River, which is located a little bit south. So the Huang River will be located more north in China, and then the Yangtze River will be more south. Okay, these are the ancient understandings of the geography of how the ancient Chinese kind of flow. They have mountain ranges and deserts on their basically encompassing their area. To the west and southwest, they have the Tian Shan, which is like the Himalayas, and then that blocked them from the outside world going forward. Trade. The biggest trade that you want to know going forward for the ancient Chinese civilization, and it connects to Afro-Eurasia, is the Silk Roads. It's called the Silk Roads because basically it connects in Asia to the new, to not the New World, but to Africa and Europe. And in those essences, silk is the luxury good that's traded along these routes. So it's kind of dubbed the name Silk Road. Now, to understand that too, though, the ancient Chinese do give other methods and information and knowledge. So they do things like compasses, there's new textiles, which is silk. And the other thing you want to know for ancient Chinese histories is that they have porcelain coming in from China to Europe and Africa. And these are like the luxury goods that are traded along there. They're also known for having currency, paper currency, and the civil service exam as you go forward. But those are encompassed in the major Chinese dynasties going forward. So the dynasties, the first one you want to know coming into your course is the Song Dynasty from 960, which is before your course starts, but to 1279 CE. Remember, your course starts at 1250. Main ideas here is that it comes with the magnetic compass, which is something that the Europeans later on utilized as a means to the age of navigation for the age of exploration. So they kind of encompass this kind of cross-route themed understanding from the ancient Chinese. And the other thing you want to know for this dynasty here, the Song, is they're the first to cultivate champa rice, which is the idea of rice as a staple food for the Chinese people. And you know how rice is a staple food today. They're the first to really cultivate it on a massive scale, meaning that it's the first time that it becomes a viable means for food. Now this is the dynasty here. If you want to kind of zoom in there, you can. But that's the Song dynasty here. And they all kind of encompass China, but they all have their own different eras and taking over and their own things that they bring to the table to Chinese culture. The next one will be the Yuan dynasty. This is when the Mongols rule over Eastern Asia, and then the grandson of Genghis Khan, which is Kublai Khan, actually takes over part of China for a period of time. And when he takes over, it's called the Yuan dynasty. He basically controls over China, and he conquered the Song dynasty in 1279, which is basically the end of the Song. So this is, if they talk about the Yuan, they're really talking about the Mongols and how big the Mongol Empire is, the biggest land-based empire in your course. And there's a period of time where the Mongols get so big that they actually take over China. But remember, in your course, it's called Eastern Asia. And this will be the Yuan dynasty. This will be the idea of the Mongol rule. The main things you want to know for the Mongol rule in this period of time, they had the tribute system, so the idea that they're called the Golden Horde. They are a nomadic people. When they come in, if you pay them the tribute, you're pretty much peaceful. So this is also known as Pax Mongolica, meaning the peaceful time in Latin of Mongol rule. Meaning if you kind of played by their rules, your life was pretty peaceful, right? Even though you have this ruler over you, if you follow the ruler, you have order in this world. Remember, there's these dynasties always kind of taking over. So having some sort of peace with a ruling body is kind of important, and that's why it's also referred to as a time of peace. Okay, so don't just think of the Mongols as invaders, but if you follow those invaders' rules, you have a peaceful life. The next one we want to know is the Ming Dynasty. That's from 368 to 644 CE, which is Common Era. The main ideas here that they do is they help improve literacy and printing, meaning the idea of paper and paper currencies flourishing under the Ming. The other thing that they do is they create the first civil exams, meaning the civil service exams. So for people to be part of government, they have to pass actual exams to show that they're qualified, rather to be some sort of family relation or friend. They create the Forbidden City, which is basically located as the focal point of rule for the Chinese empires. They create the treasure fleet, which is basically these gigantic ships that they start to create to basically, with this new influx of silver coming in from the New World. And they're known as these ginormous, epic, Titanic-sized ships compared to the European ships. So sometimes in your AP exam, there'll be a gigantic Chinese ship, and that's referencing the Ming and this essence of their dominance as a superpower at this time. They also encompass this idea of the mandate of heaven. These are some really important things for your course, because if they talk about these major things of civil service, printing of money, if they talk about the mandate of heaven, which is the biggest one too, that's basically they're talking about the Ming. Now, the mandate of heaven, in essence, is that this dynastic cycle is always taking over. So when they take over, they say, well, what gives you the right to rule? And they kind of do this thing saying, I am mandated by heaven to give myself authority over you. And when ancient Chinese people do this, Chinese people and other ancient civilizations say that they're given this right by God, it solidifies their rule. So they were mandated by heaven to rule over you. If you question me and my authority, now you are questioning heaven, and that's kind of like a big, another layer of enforcing your rule over people. The biggest explorer or person from the Ming Dynasty that you will get asked is Zhang He. Zhang He is like the Christopher Columbus of the Chinese Empire. You guys know who Christopher Columbus is? Zhang He is like the earlier explorers before the age of exploration. There's Zhang He, then there's Ibn Battuta for the Islamic Empire, and then there's Marco Polo for Europe. Okay, those are your three earlier explorers before you get into the age of exploration with, you know, Columbus and Gama and Prince Henry the Navigator and all those people. So Zhang He is the one you want to know going on. He's pre this time. The last thing we want to know about is sorry about this again. So the last one you want to know about is the Qing Dynasty. The main idea is under here is that they're isolationists. So in this period of time, they kind of want a hands-off approach. So while the rest of the world is kind of connecting and going through the age of absolutism and the Enlightenment and so forth, they're like, we're on our own. So they're going into this idea of kind of keeping in their own world. Okay, so this is the idea of the Qing Dynasty here on the bottom, if you can see it here. So it goes Song, Yuan, Ming, and Qing. You see how they're all kind of in there. This is Confucius, and this is the Silk Roads. Okay, if you like this video, I really appreciate like and subscribe. Again, good luck on your exam, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the description below.